Sebastian. We started in Miami.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. If I may have your attention for a brief moment, please. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may have your attention for just a brief moment, please. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. All right. We'd like to welcome you here to the Dirty Dog Jazz Cafe. We have a birthday acknowledgement we'd like to give out. And that's going out to Kimberly. Where you at, Kimberly? You in the house? She in the back? Everybody's happy birthday to Kimberly. All right. Any more birthdays in the house tonight? Anybody celebrating any anniversaries? All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to turn this over to the president of the Jazz Fest. Where you at, Drewski? Yo, Drew! Oh.
Thank you very much. We'll keep this brief because I know we want to get to the music. I'm Chris Collins, president and artistic director of the Detroit Jazz Fest. But really, I'm just a saxophone player, honest to God. I just know a lot more about COVID and security processes than I should in this world. This is very special. I started this about 13 years ago, and the idea here was to do a national competition that celebrated jazz being in the college. And some of us are old enough to remember where jazz wasn't. It was not accepted as a field of study. It was rejected. And on the other side, when it did kind of get accepted, the street players were saying, oh, man, you don't want to be in that scene. You're never going to learn jazz. The thing is, you got to have both. Or they both, you don't have to have both, but they both help. I mean, you got to, this music lives in the streets. You've got to come up with the older cats, learn the language. But the university setting has evolved into such that you have great artists and composers teaching you, right? It's not just, academicians. And so the end result can be an acceleration of an understanding of things and of course, the diversity of meeting players from all different parts of the country at your university. So this competition was put together to celebrate great music, but also aspiring players that are not only competitive musicians, but also competitive in the challenges of academia, especially undergraduate degrees. A lot of it is just pure knowledge, and it can go in a lot of different directions. And those who survive that and do well in that setting often come out better intellectually and emotionally on the other end, and it's really valuable to being a musician. It's not necessary, but it does make a difference, and we've cultivated quite an amazing situation. So the Jazz Fest wanted to celebrate it, and we started a national competition, been going on for some time now, and this year is no exception. I get submissions. I listen to the music blind. We narrow it down to a finalist. The 4 finalists, 2 of them played in the first set. The last 2 will be here. At the end of this set, we will coagulate with the judges that are watching the live stream and those in the room. We will select the winner tonight. If you want to hang out afterwards, we will be announcing it on the live stream right here and get all the bands together. The winner plays first and foremost tomorrow night here at the Dirty Dog, a professional gig. They come in and play the night, so it's worth checking out. And then they return to the Detroit Jazz Festival for a feature set on the main stage. So it's a very prestigious award that has spawned some of the really great players that are out there now making moves. So we're so proud to have it going on. I will also say lastly that we can only do this through the generosity of sponsors and donors, and in this case, the 2025 Detroit Jazz Fest Collegiate Combo Competition is presented by Central Michigan University. So please give it up for Central Michigan. This wouldn't happen without them, for all the right reasons. All right, so without further ado, you have to be in college or university. You have to be enrolled, but you don't have to be in the same school, which I really dig because these cats are from all over the place. But I understand you met at the in Aspen, right? At the Snowmass, is it called? Yeah, that's a very cool thing. And you got together there and you decided let's do this. Let's get married and make a band. I like it. So we're gonna go at it with that. Let's see. They do have a title. This is great, man. Not just 8 cats. This is called the Pocket Project. the Pocket Project. Please welcome them.
you so much. Thank you so much. We are the Pocket Project, and we are so grateful to be here. We didn't know that we would have a great opportunity to play with each other again. So we are honestly just super excited to be here. This next tune is one of my favorites by some of my favorite musicians. This is The Dry Cleaner from Des Moines by Joni Mitchell and Charles Mingus. Stuck in the stuff that's hot. I keep hearing bells all around me, jingling the lucky jackpots. They keep you tantalized, they keep you reaching for your wallet here in Fool's Paradise. I talked to a cat from Des Moines. He said he ran a cleaning plan. That cat was clanking with a coin. Well, he must have found a genie in a lamp, 'cause every time I dropped a dime I blew it, he kept ringing bells, nothing to it. He got 3 oranges, 3 lemons, 3 cherries, 3 plums. I'm losing my taste for fruit, watching the dry cleaner do it. Like Midas in a polyester suit. It's all luck, it's just luck. You get a little lucky and you make a little money. Circus where the cowgirls fill the room with their big balloons. The cleaner was pitching with purpose. He had dinos and pooh bears and lions, pink and blue there. You can lose there. He was stacking with chips, ranking all the tables, ringing the bandits' bells. This is a story that the track to tell. In some ways since I lost every time I played on the line. But the cleaner from Des Moines, go put a coin in the door of a John and get 20 for 1. It's just luck. Say up, 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 baby. Da 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 da, yeah, man. Oh, da 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 da. Say ya da ba da ba ba. He was sacked with chips, ranking off the tables, ringing the bandits' bells. This is a story that's attracted down in somewhere since I lost every time I played on the line. But the cleaner from Des Moines could put a coin in the jar of a Joan and get 20 for one. It's just luck. It's just luck. Thank you. Kevin Wong, Charlie Lois, John Perry, Lois Majors, myself on solo. Thank you. Smooth road, clear day. So why am I the only one traveling this way? How strange the road to love should be so easy. Can't you see the detour ahead? Wake up, slow down before you crash and break your heart. You gullible clown, you fool. You're headed in the wrong direction. Can't you see the detour ahead? The further you travel, the harder to unravel the web. He spins around you. Turn back while there's time. Can't you see the danger signs? Soft shoulders surround you. Smooth road, clear night. Oh, lucky me, I saw the light. I'm turning back away from all this trouble. Smooth road, smooth road, no detour. Oh, the further you travel, the harder to unravel the web. He spins around you. Turn back while there's time. Can't you see the danger signs? The star shoulders surround you. Smooth road, clear night. Oh, lucky me, I suddenly saw the light. I'm turning back away from all this trouble. Smooth road, smooth road. No detour. No detour. No Thank you. That was a beautiful ballad called Detour Ahead, and that was my arrangement. Before we leave you all, we have one more tune, and I'm going to need your guys' help with this one. y'all's help. So when I go, ooh, nande, y'all are gonna go, shake that thing. So let's practice. Ready? Here we go. So I'll go, ooh, nande. Shake that thing. Woo! You're naturals. Okay. This is a classic Tootie Ma. But before we leave you, I'm gonna introduce everybody. So that is Scott Schaefer on the trombone, Jerome Perry on the trumpet, Kevin Wong on alto sax, Eli Wyatt on tenor sax, Charlie Loist on piano, Lois Majors on the bass. I love Lois too. And you just heard a drum solo by Sebastian Kuczynski. And my name is Hannah Goodwin, and we are the Pocket Project. Thank you. Is a big fine thing. Ooh, nane. Tutima is a big pretty thing. Ooh, nane. Tutima is a big pretty thing. Ooh, nane. Tutima is a big luscious thing. Ooh, nane. Finest girl I ever saw. She does something that breaks the law. She took my paw right from my mom. I'm gonna knock on her door. Swing with me on a mighty fine day. Ooh, nande. Swing with me on a mighty fine day. Ooh, nande. ma is a big luscious thing. Ooh, nande. Tutti ma is a big pretty thing. Ooh, nande. Finest girl I ever saw. She does something against the law. She took my paw right from my ma. I'm gonna knock on her door. Swing with me on a mighty fine day. Ooh, nande. Swing with me on a mighty fine day. Ooh, nande. Woo! Thank you. We are the Pocket Project. Thank you.
The Pocket Project. Give it up for them one more time, Pocket Project. Yes, yes. The dry cleaner from Des Moines. You had me. My girl Joni, that was a great band, wasn't it? Man, what a great piece of music, too. The lyrics, I mean, that whole project she did, like, took her to a whole nother place. That was a beautiful rendition. And I want to say the rhythm section, you guys, you swung like that era, and then you switched it up, man. That was super cool. It felt really, really good, really good. So once again, the Pocket Project, everyone. Thank you, guys. While we switch over to our final finalists in the 2025 Detroit Jazz Fest Foundation's Collegiate Combo Competition presented by Central Michigan University, I'd ask you to join me. They're watching on the live stream. They were here earlier. Please give it up for Central Michigan that funded this program for the last 6 years. 6 years. And this is so important part, such an important part. The other band will come on, right? Yeah. It's such an important part of jazz and what we do at the Jazz Festival every year. How many people go to the Detroit Jazz Festival? I hope everybody in the room, right? And the reason it's so special, of course, is you know it's one of the top festivals in the world, and as you know, it's one of the only surviving free jazz festivals in the world, which is amazing. Well, thank you for that. My team is great. They worked their can off. I tell everyone, the auditors last year, they showed where 85 cents of every dollar donated, 85 cents goes directly to programming. That's huge in the nonprofit world. And I never used to say this number because Gretchen Valet didn't like me talking about the numbers. She didn't want people worrying about it. And it's her vision that gets us to continue to seek out new talent at all levels and to honor the past and the legacy artists that are still with us. Is why the Detroit Jazz Festival is so special. It's a real jazz festival, and we have open submissions, we have competitions, we have things that track our students from middle school, high school, college, and in their professional careers. It's about really creating a family and supporting every step of the way. But I'm going to tell you that number because it's an important number that we face every day. The day after the festival, we have to start raising the $5 million it takes to do the next year of activities. It's $5 million, and it doesn't come from one place. It comes from our marvelous sponsors, the incredible donors, and the grantors, and folks like Miss Valet that step up to make sure our city has something no other city has. So in memoriam, because I know she's here, give it up for Miss Gretchen C. Valet. Yes, ma'am. And I will, since we have a moment, you guys take your time, get comfortable. You see right here on my lapel is this year's Angel of Jazz pin, which people have asked me about. We do a memorial pin every year for Miss Valet. It has her angel wings on it. And this one's special. The outer ring of the pin is one of her compositions inscribed into the pin, The Lights of Detroit. It's very cool. I think if you have a really small record player, you can actually play it. So, but we started this a few years ago, and people have been collecting them. It's for a donation of $50 to the Detroit Jazz Fest Foundation. You get one of these memorial pins. They're limited edition. They're really about showing your love for Miss Valet and her vision and building on her generosity, not taking it for granted, so that your grandchildren and mine can go to the Detroit Jazz Festival for free. And when they can, make a donation, but they can always go for free. It's an almost unheard of thing in this world. So consider it, DetroitJazzFest.com. If you want to become a donor, it doesn't matter if it's $1. it makes a difference to keep it free and to keep it jazz. Otherwise, one day a smart accountant's going to come in and decide that we should charge $20 at the gate, and a whole lot of people won't be able to go. They'll make a lot of money, but a whole lot of people won't be able to go, and it's up to us to do what we can to help. So if you can, please do, and if not, come on down for free and enjoy one of the greatest jazz festivals in the world this Labor Day weekend, Friday through Monday. I think you'll dig it. An amazing collection of artists, including the winner of this competition, the Collegiate Combo competition. They'll be performing at the festival as one of their awards, along with a couple $1,000s in cash. And tomorrow night here at the Dirty Dog, they'll be playing the whole night, a regular professional gig. We get out of the way. They're just pros. They do their thing. So you get a chance to hear these cats. In addition to the live stream tonight, you'll also be able to hear rebroadcasts of these on our Friday programs, 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday. Jazz from the Cellar, Jazz After Hours. And you can check that out at DetroitJazzFest.org or on our YouTube and social media channels. All right, enough said. You guys ready? Oh, okay. As always, we have to wait for the drummer. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, man. I'm not going to tell any more drum jokes tonight. In fact, I'm not going to tell any jokes because every time I tell a joke, in fact, a great story since we have a minute, every time I told a joke in the joint, whether I was playing or talking like this, Miss Valade would boo me. She'd say, put the saxophone back in your mouth and stop talking. I loved her. I'm hesitant. Yeah, there you go. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. Well, I do have one good joke. Because most of the jokes I know are an insult to one of the instruments on the stage, so I'm not going to do that. But, yeah, you don't want to do that. A guitar joke. I got a guitar. The great Joe Pass, right? Great Joe Pass is doing an interview, and he was, they were talking about some life experience. He said, well, it just happened to me when I pulled up to the studio to do this interview. I couldn't find a spot, so I parked in the handicap parking spot. I got out of the car, and I'm pulling out my guitar, and the cop pulls up and says, sir, you cannot park in this unless you're a handicapped person. That's what it's here for. He said, you've never heard me play Giant Steps. Well, that's how I know the drums are ready, and they're not. So. You are a hard man to please. I'm good. I pity the family. Thank you, sir. Better late than never, as my wife says. Okay, enough of that. Thank you. Yes. Sets the mood. That's called vamping, guys. That's called vamping. How we feeling? Start it up. All right, here we go. The last of our 4 finalists in the 2025 Detroit Jazz Fest Foundation Collegiate Combo Competition, a celebration of great jazz musicians who are also able to thrive in the academic setting. No easy feat, and something to be celebrated, which is what this is all about. After this band plays, I'll be checking in with my judges online and in the room. We'll make a final decision, and after as soon as the negotiations are done, we will have all the bands back out here, and we will announce it live on the stream, or if you care to hang out, you'll find out who the winner is and who's playing here tomorrow night at the Dirty Dog Jazz Cafe. So, our final finalists. Please welcome to the bandstand from the Manhattan School of Music, Sonder. Leader is Noah Myers. Where's Noah? Right here. There you go. Figures. You're the guy who actually spoke to me and looked me in the eye, so that's great. You always know the leader on the bandstand because they're the person who have no money in their pocket, right? And that's the way it goes. Guys, knock us out.
Hello. Thank you all so much for coming. And I'd like to introduce ourselves before we play our last tune. And also before we introduce ourselves, I'd love to thank the Dirty Dog Jazz Cafe for having us and the Detroit Jazz Festival for hosting this wonderful event, this allowing to have us. And he's going to play this wonderful bass line behind us while I talk. So anyway, my name is Noah Myers. This is Ian Weidman. Yeah. This is Eric Stern on piano. August Bish on bass. Adam Wax on drums. Very fitting name, too. Love it. Okay. And then, so for this, first of all, the first 3 tunes were originals of mine, and they kind of meshed together, so I felt like it would be good to not have any breaks between. But now we're going to play the one non-original of the set. Wish I could say I wrote this song. This is a Wayne Shorter tune called Joyrider. Enjoy.
Yeah, Cats. Beautiful. Beautiful. Nice band, though. Nice band. Well, folks, that wraps up the finals of the 2025 Detroit Jazz Fest Foundation Collegiate Combo Competition. Please, for all 4 of the finalists who played this evening, yeah, guys, seek out artists that are at thresholds in their career or that have crossed a creative professional night here, do their thing. So it's a pretty special collection. Now, if you'd like to hang out, you can. I have messages from our online judges, and we're going to have a conversation. And as soon as we can, I'm going to be back out here, and we will have all the bands out, and we will announce the winner of this year's competition. So you can watch it online. You can find out about it over the next couple of days online, or you can hang out for a little bit, and we'll be back to make that announcement. So in the meantime, think about how
Thank you very much. Yeah, Chris will be out in just a few, and we'll probably just reassemble here for the announcement. Thank you.
No, it's hard to understand, man. It's like you gotta give artists to some things, but I was like, they're really there. Like, they're absolutely, no, absolutely. The melodies were strong, and the structure was there. So, and I mean, it's fun. You know, I knew, because after Monaco, when we did Italy, they were like, yeah, but they were right there. Like, I was like, they're not lost.
Who perceived of this, and I know we're anxious to get to it, I am going to get to it, but I will tell you, you know this jazz club in for all the right reasons, and a great story. This is how much she loves art. This ain't it. This is not big enough. They can't relax. If they come in off the road, there's nowhere for the house, and the green room and the showers. She made it so that artists can artist rooms. And the beautiful part, and you guys will appreciate this, I'm sure now, and for her generosity, she never would get off the bar and just go into the green room and say, hey, I need to talk to you, and everybody would kiss up because she's lady, right? She never did that because she knew musicians needed that solitude in between performances. I mean, this is the kind of philanthropist she was. So we sit here in this place, and of course the new Gretchen Sivelet Jazz Center in Midtown, and everything she's done for Jazz Fest and for generations of jazz musicians in addition to the Detroit Jazz Festival itself. So give her a little extra thought in her prayers, a little extra toast. There it is, to Gretchen. someone whose vision was so pure. She got all these wonderful people behind it, and it's all about us propagating it. And now you guys are part of that family, so I'm so happy you were all able to be here. I'm not going to go through the usual, except to say it is always a difficult decision because there's different stylistic things going on, and there isn't a single band that played tonight that doesn't deserve to be here and to have opportunities. And I say that because, as those of you who may be involved in the past, I will listen to anything you send me that much more seriously. We have an open artist submission from February to June every year. Everything comes to my ears, and it's old school. Nobody does it, but I remember being, how do I get on a festival coming up? It's really difficult to do. And so this is a system by doing it, not only these competitions, but I know all of you now. You send me something, a special project to application for the festival, and I will definitely pay attention to it. So no matter what happens, there's a relationship that's been started. Okay, cool. Thank you all for your wonderful music, but it's time to get to it. We promised we'd announce the winner. Coming in as a band of the Dirty Dog, and they're going to play the night here tomorrow night. So, Sponder. Sonder. Sorry, Sponder. Sonder. Really, truly bravo. Bravo to everyone. I mean, this music has so many different genres and directions and purposes from the history and the language and the representation of different eras to new thoughts and evolution. It's all valid, right? I mean, there's no definitive formula, and in fact, you need to do a lot of self-introspection to figure out who you are, because we all have to learn the history, and you can get lost in that, and sometimes that's great because that's who you are, and sometimes you go in other directions, but what we try to battle against is the feeling that there is any one path, except you have to know the language and the history, and it's the important part of the craft, but that is the craft. The art side is very different, and one of the things that our winner really made a mark with is the Collegiate Combo competition came about because we were doing solo competitions. We'd have saxophone one year, trumpet the next year, and we still do that. It's valid. But we wanted to celebrate the formation of an ensemble with a cohesive vision, personality, and clear trajectory that has blossomed into a united front where the sum of the parts is more than the whole kind of a thing, and that's not easy to achieve. I mean, think about just trying to find rehearsal space where we all live, right? It can be a challenge, and it's hard to keep a band together. It's why you often see cats go to New York and they hire some big names and they make a CD, and I hear those all the time. And they're great players, but it sure don't feel like a real band. You guys play the Wayne thing. You guys do tunes of bands that were real bands, and I mean that's the level of what this art form is really all about. Otherwise, we'd all be in our mom's basement playing into a mirror, I guess. I don't know. So bravo to you guys. Congratulations. Sonder. Keep it up. Yep. So thanks to all of you, and keep me apprised. And I'm going to, as always, as you know, because you've been here, I'm going to keep in mind everything I heard tonight, and should an opportunity cross my path, because there's wonderful things going on in every one of these ensembles, and things come my way, and we do year-round programming at the Valet Center and things, and I will keep you all in mind and seek out opportunities. I promise that. Okay? Thank you for your music, and thank you for your exuberance. Congratulations to everyone. We'll see you again soon, I hope. Hear you? I know, because I hear him like 10 times. So there we go. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out tonight. Come back tomorrow. Here's Sonder, and back at the Jazz Circle. Ciao.